The Sony A6100 is a camera that came out in 2019 and served as a predecessor for a new age of Sony. The question is, does the camera still hold up in 2021? Let's talk about it. So the actual camera body comes in at $848 with a 16 to 50 millimeter kit lens included with the package. Now this kit lens does pretty okay, but I would definitely recommend getting a better one. The Sony A-series is pretty good, and this 50 millimeter right here, I think it was about $200, and the lenses are pretty fast with this one coming in at f1.8. This camera can shoot really well in 4K at 24 and 30 frames a second. There's no 4K 60, but I honestly don't use the 4K that much. My computer doesn't really like when I use 4K, so the 24 and 30 works just fine. Now, for all my slow-mo junkies out there, the highlight makers of the world, this camera definitely does have some stuff for you to play with. As you can see, Sony does a really good job with their AF tracking, keeping things tack sharp at 60 frames a second. The A6100 also does shoot in 120 frames a second in HD. It's not quite as clear as the 60 frames a second, but the Sony AF, one of the things that they're best known for is their AF tracking does keep Jackie in frame the whole time, as you can see on this clip. Now let's get into low light. I'm not going to lie, the low light is pretty grim on this camera. I'm going to show you some extra B-roll that I have and some photos, and all of these were taken at 3200 ISO. So yeah, this camera, especially in non-controlled settings, 6400 if you're in a controlled setting might work, but yeah, if you're shooting in low light a lot, I wouldn't go for this camera. Now I know I said this isn't a photo first camera, but I just want to show you some of the photos I've taken with this on professional shoots, jobs that I've gotten paid for. The camera does work well. It actually does produce some really high quality images. You can use it for that purpose. So with everything said and done, what are we left with? We have a nice compact mirrorless camera that is really good for entry-level videographers and casual photographers as well. Sony's color sciences are always going to be in style no matter which A-series you're buying. The image is crisp and clear in the daylight due to that AF tracking that Sony's known for, and the slow-mo shots are entirely serviceable. Would I recommend this camera to any serious photo or video shooters who have been in the industry for a long time? Absolutely not. This camera works best in the hands of a family photographer, a vlogger, a student with a low budget. This camera has served me really well in the settings that I've used it, but now I'm just ready to upgrade to a newer A-series. So bottom line, guys, this camera is going to work really well for you, especially in the daylight or in some nice steady lighting. Just try to stay out of low light, I would say. For the casuals, for the vloggers, for the entry-level guys, definitely get on this camera. It is really good. Have a great night. Peace.